All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats and crack the case of a really common check engine light code, P1101. So there it is. That annoying little check engine light is staring you down. You grab your scan tool, plug it in, and up pops the code P1101. Okay, what on earth is that? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to solve this mystery together. Okay, so just like any good investigation, we have to start by understanding the message. What is your car actually trying to tell you with this P1101 code? So here's the deal in plain English. Your car's brain, the computer, is basically confused. Think of it like this. It expects a certain amount of air to be coming into the engine, but its main sensor is reporting something totally different. And that's a big problem, because when those two numbers don't match, the computer can't create the perfect air-fuel mixture. The whole system gets thrown off. So, what could possibly be causing all this confusion? Well, there's not just one single answer. It's time to line up the usual suspects and figure out who's the real culprit behind this code. And wow, look at this list. It's quite a lineup, right? The problem could be something super simple and cheap, like a dirty air filter, or it could be something a bit more tricky, like a bad sensor or a vacuum leak. Now, the key thing to remember is that we're going to investigate this logically. We'll start with the most common, and usually the cheapest, fixes first. Yeah, exactly. You got to approach this like a real detective. You don't just jump to the craziest conclusion. You start with the simple stuff, the obvious clues, and you work your way up from there. So let's get our investigation started. All right, first things first, we're going to follow the trail of air right from where it enters the engine looking for our very first clue. And our first suspect to interrogate? It's the simplest one. We're talking about the gatekeeper, the very first line of defense for all the air coming into your engine. I know, it sounds almost too basic, right? But you'd be shocked how often a dirty, clogged air filter is the culprit here. I mean, think about it. If the engine is trying to breathe through a dirty mask, it's just not going to get the air it expects. The computer sees that difference and throws up a red flag. And the best part? If this is your problem, it's one of the cheapest and easiest fixes you'll ever do. Okay, so let's say your air filter looks good. It's clean. Where do we look next? Well, now we turn our attention to the key witness in this whole operation, the sensor that's actually measuring the air. You see, this sensor's job is absolutely critical. It's the one telling the computer exactly how much air is coming in, which is how the computer decides how much fuel to spray. We're talking about a very sensitive piece of equipment. Even a little bit of dust or oil on it can throw the readings way, way off. Now, if you're going to clean this thing, you have to be careful. It's a delicate operation. And please listen to me on this one. Only use a cleaner specifically made for math sensors. Do not, I repeat, do not spray it with carb cleaner or brake cleaner. You will destroy it. Trust me, you'll turn a simple $10 cleaning job into a much more expensive replacement part. Oh, and check this out. This is a fantastic pro tip. If your scan tool can show live data, you can do this super quick check. Just turn the key to the on position, but don't start the engine. With the engine off, there shouldn't be any air flowing past that sensor, right? So the reading should be 0, or pretty darn close to it. If you're seeing some crazy high number, well, that's a dead giveaway that your sensor is toast. All right, detective. The air filter is clean. The MAF sensor is spotless, but that pesky light is still on. What now? Well, now we investigate a notorious accomplice, the throttle body. Over time, carbon can build up in there and mess with the airflow. And for certain cars, like the Chevy Cruze, this is a really common cause of a P1101. Next up, we're hunting for something a little more sneaky, a real phantom culprit, a vacuum leak. This is when air manages to sneak into the engine somewhere after the math sensor has already measured it. So you've got this extra unmetered air getting in, and it completely throws off the computer's math. It's a classic case of bad data in, bad performance out. So how do you find one of these? You can start by just looking around for any obvious cracks in the vacuum hoses, but honestly, the pro's choice is a smoke machine. You hook it up and it gently fills the whole system with a harmless, visible smoke. And then you just watch. Even the tiniest, most hidden leak will give itself away with a little puff of smoke. It's a real game changer. This is a great way to understand how two of the key players work together. The math sensor, that's your main witness. It's on the stand saying, I saw this much air come in.
Then you have the MAP sensor. Think of it as the corroborating witness. It's measuring the pressure or the vacuum inside the engine. The computer looks at both reports. It says, okay, if the MAP sensor is right, then the pressure the MAP sensor sees should be about this much. If their stories don't line up, well, the computer knows one of them is lying, and it sets a code.
Okay, so let's say you found the culprit. Maybe it was a dirty MAF. Maybe you found and fixed a leaky hose. You've done the repair. Awesome. But we're not quite done yet. Now we have to confirm that the case is officially closed. And this last part is absolutely crucial. You can't just fix the problem and walk away. First, you have to use your scan tool to tell the computer, hey, the problem's gone, you can forget about that old code. Then you have to actually drive the car. This gives the computer a chance to run all its tests again and say, yep, everything looks good now. That's the only way to know for sure that you've solved it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but the car seems to be running fine. Can I just ignore the light? Look, I get it. But the answer is a hard no. Leaving this case unsolved can have some real and pretty expensive consequences down the road. Because see, this isn't just about turning off an annoying light. When your air-fuel mixture is off, your fuel economy tanks. You're literally burning money. Your engine won't perform as well, and over time, you could cause some serious damage to expensive parts, like your catalytic converter. Oh, and you can forget about passing an emissions test. So yeah, fixing this is a big deal. Look, tracking down and fixing a code like P1101 yourself, that's empowering. It shows that with a little bit of know-how, you can really take control of your car's health. The more you understand your vehicle, the better you can take care of it. Which really just leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Now that you've solved this case, what other simple checks could you be doing to keep your engine happy and that check engine light off for good?